It's been a few years since I made a dedicated travel EDC video because it stayed the same for so long, but a few small updates all coincidentally happened for this half-year work trip, so in this video, I'll break it all down, the whats, but most importantly, the whys. Kicking things off with the wallet, it's the Bellroy Apex Note Sleeve. This was a semi-update last year where I used to use the regular note sleeve for years, but after a scare in Jakarta where a card slipped out briefly, I went with the Apex for its magnetic closure for a tiny little bit of added peace of mind, and because I'm a sucker for green, I just grabbed this newer colorway a few days ago, but the color matters much less than the reasons. Cracking it open, we've got 3 quick access card sleeves. Over here goes my most frequently used card, my business credit card, and on the right, I've got the local transit card of wherever I am, currently Taipei, and if I'm staying at a hotel, the room key card in the other slot, but since I'm at this Airbnb with a physical key, this slot is currently empty. Then for all my other cards, there's this pocket here with a handy pull tab extractor. And as you can see, I can store 6 cards comfortably in there, and I don't think most folks have a need for more than 9 cards total, especially since so many cards have and are continually being replaced by apps. Speaking of which, some folks may wonder why I have physical transit cards, when most of those too have been replaced by apps as well. I just don't want to be 100% at the whim of my phone, especially when traveling. I mean, whether my phone dies while I'm out, or worse, breaks or gets misplaced, having physical transit cards means I can still get around or make small purchases. Regardless, back to the wallet, since all the places I'm visiting are still quite cash heavy. This is called the note sleeve because of its sleeve for currency notes, but again, it's a magnetic closure here with these formed yet still squishable leather angled edges. That gives me that tiny bit of added peace of mind that my cards will stay in the wallet, even with, as you can see, aggressive shaking, all while maintaining comfort in pocket. Next up is the phone, and for the purpose of this travel EDC video, the make and model of the phone itself doesn't really matter. However, what does matter to me is the case, and if you have been with me for a bit, you know that for years I've used the Peak design case for one reason. Because I frequently rent scooters or use local bike shares throughout this half year, bouncing all over Asia, the Peak design universal bar mount is to me the best solution I've found for rapid on and off action, while simultaneously being a case I personally think looks quite nice, and again, being a sucker for green, have gone with their sage colorway. Peak Design's magnet and clip attachment interface makes attaching it to the universal handlebar mount ridiculously secure, and with 32 clicking positions means no matter what handlebars a bike or scooter has, Google Maps will be oriented properly. As you saw, the bar mount is also ridiculously secure and easy to use with this very thick silicone strap and hook to pull tight to stretch and affix for a strong, confident anchor. As another extension to the phone, because I spend so much time on client calls and Zoom meetings, not to mention extended coffee shop work sessions while abroad where noise cancelling is crucial for my own focus, AirPods Pros are an absolute must daily carry, whereas that universal bar mount is really city dependent. Here in Taipei with their U-bikes, it comes with me anytime I head out, while in Jakarta, because of scooter taxis, I don't even pack it with me. Next up is my flashlight, which also doubles as a keychain when needed. This thing is also a very recent update, and it's the Nightcore TUP version 2. If you saw the last travel EDC video a few years ago, you'll know that for so long I've used this guy, the T4K, also by Nightcore, which, as you can see, has been pretty abused over that time, and although it still works perfectly, I swapped to this guy because every bit of size savings is noticeable, especially in pocket, plus I quite like orange too. Like the T4K it replaces, it has direct USB Type-C charging, so just like all my other tech means any of my cables will juice it up. The TUP2 has 5 outputs with a 1 lumen moonlight mode, a 15 lumen low mode, 80 lumens for medium, a high mode of 300 lumens rounding out the sustained outputs, and a turbo boost of 1200 lumens shooting out of its 4 LED chips. And most importantly for me, especially when traveling, has this LED status display that shows exactly how much time I have left at any output. Now, locking out is super important to prevent burning your clothes or bag, and if you've kicked it with me on Patreon, you know firsthand. And speaking of which, I don't really advertise it, but if you feel like you get value from my videos here on YouTube, Patreon is where I post 2 exclusive pieces of extra content every month, and I welcome you to get a sampling over at patreon.com/Maurice Moves. But back to the flashlight, from any on output level, pressing and holding the power button for several seconds locks it out. And when locked out, the status screen shows to press and hold both buttons simultaneously, until the bar travels all the way to the end, taking a few seconds to ensure that there's no accidental unlocks. Speaking of both buttons simultaneously, these newer Nightcores also have multiple color temperatures. So from any of the sustained outputs, pressing and holding both buttons down lets you cycle from a very warm 3000 kelvins to a neutral 4500 kelvins to a cool 6500 Kelvin output. But again, in the interest of packing as light as possible, unlike home turf where I have a separate key solution, this thing serves as my keychain where I anchor my Airbnb keys to the built-in carabiner. And just like all my EDC torches, this one's got a beam up clip, which means clipping it to the brim of my hat. I can have hands-free illumination if need be as well. Love this thing, and like everything else we'll chop up in this video, you can find the Nightcore TUP version 2 linked down in the description, in case you want to do some more research for yourself. Next up, we've got probably the least relatable part of my everyday carry, and it's my pens and notebook. I spent the better part of a decade with this Travelers Company notebook, regular size in the camel leather colorway. And as a very frequent flyer for work, obviously I've gone with Travelers Company's pewter airplane for the closure elastic. Now, since I've made dedicated videos about it, I won't go into the page execution details here, but this is my jumping off point for almost any type of work. However, my habits for notebook use requires 2 different colored inks and nib sizes, and the pen clip I use is a dual fountain pen clip by a company called the Superior Labor. They're still a bit tough to find since they're a small workshop out of Japan, but there are quite a lot of independent makers on sites like Etsy that make similar ones. These particular Lamy Safaris are the 2021 limited colorways, and I've been using them since then and obviously love them. I think some folks might have no need for a notebook but are attracted to how this setup looks, which is a perfect time for my typical reminder in videos that feature physical products, that although everything is linked in the description, please don't make knee-jerk purchases. But back on track. As a notebook power user, this regular size Travelers Company notebook obviously doesn't fit in my pockets. So up next is the EDC Sling bag I use for travel on days or outings where I do not need to bring my computer. I've used some version of TomTalk slings for over 5 years, but for the past 2 years it's been this, the T33 Aviator. Available in a few sizes and color options, I've opted for the largest 3.5 liter version in gray. But of course, most importantly, easily accommodates the larger stuff I EDC like my notebook setup. And let's not forget the anchor points for my favorite EDC accessory of all time, the Espionner number 4 size by Night Eyes, where I can quickly clip and unclip my sweat-soaked hat. Next up, wristwatch, and I realized that I misspoke about the notebook because this is actually probably the least relatable. I mean, most people on Earth couldn't care less about watches, right? But as a watch lover though, on this trip I brought several, but so far it's been a pretty dominant split between my beloved Seiko SBB 377J1, colloquially the Alpinist GMT, and this medium-sized Cartier Santos, both of which I've swapped onto cut-to-size deluxe rubber straps because I sweat so much. The Seiko's still gotten the most wrist time since practically speaking it tracks 2 time zones at a glance. And with near daily calls still necessary with the clients and team in Toronto, it's just been nice to be able to glance down and know what time it is both locally and on home turf. One of the small rituals I love is when the pilot makes a descent announcement, and I make the swap of the transit card and cash from the country I just left to the one I'm about to land at, then take off my watch and set it to my new local time. But next up is the pocket knife, and unlike home turf where the world's my oyster, or rather, my knife drawer's on my oyster, travel's trickier even from just the standpoint of not knowing local laws, so to play it safe, for me it's the Victorinox Fieldmaster or Super Tinker, with the only difference between the two being that the Fieldmaster has the extra saw. All the other tools are identical in terms of pocketability and usefulness per cubic inch. It's tough to beat, especially since while I'm abroad, I'm obviously not working at the metal fab shop at home, which means actual daily knife use cases are much less demanding. In fact, I'd argue that it's the scissors that might actually edge out the knife and get the most use while I'm abroad, like here in the hotel room back in Jakarta, using them to open this pack of hand-tied green chilies that came with my takeout. However, you might be wondering how I travel carry-on only with the Swiss Army knife since knives aren't allowed on airplanes. And if you're curious about how I have this knife everywhere despite not checking luggage in, along with a few other travel secrets only very frequent flyers know, you will definitely want to watch this video right up here. If however you want to see my tech EDC on days that I do need to pack my computer, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drop.